Okay, deleted some videos. Getting back to what I was saying. 23 years later, here we are in 2026 compared to 2003. After Aaron McGruders gave his oh so spot on speech about image and American media and how much it controls out here. In 2026, without outright Googling, if I'm not mistaken, it would be 12 people now that control most of not only social media but television media. About 12 people, maybe 13, but I'll bank for 12 as far as I Googled last time. The perception of image control, besides or not even perception, the reality of image control within the media today in America, and by extension the world, because the world looks to America for many things, not only out of a volition of hatred of America being America, but America setting a precedent of freedom. In this new day and age of media and image control, or image control in media, we have a bunch of homosexuals and the LGBT quacks, not the LGBTQs, but the LGBT quacks, controlling mass media. And especially considering the current regime that is active right now in America, almost akin to that of, if I'm being quite honest, in regards to the strong arming tactics, the politics implored upon, and financial complicity that people bounded themselves to without a second thought. I would almost compare it to that of Nazi Germany during World War II. World War I even transitioning into World War II. And that is what the concept of image and media control is akin to. A bunch of primarily white, really all white, men controlling media narrative, especially if you are a black person that doesn't want to fit into their narrative and mold. My image was marred by this group, particularly the LGBT quacks, the rainbow flag warriors, the rainbow ideology. An ideology which they cannot even explain. You don't have to explain lesbianism, gays, bisexuals, or even transgenderism. And personally, the way I feel, as long as you ain't hurting nobody or trying to force something of that ideology onto somebody else, you can exist. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm a straight man. You think I'm about to endeavor myself on what the fuck you do? I don't give a fuck about that shit. Never have. But with the separate group that is the LGBT quacks, they want to have their greedy little sticky Caucasian fingers on everything, and everyone too. But the funniest part about that is, amongst the men, it's not even funny, it's paradoxical. It's really I'm using the wrong, like, sophisticated term. Oxymoronic. There we go. It's oxymoronic. Because in the representation of what you are supposedly attracted to within your sexual, in today's day and age, you got to say sexual identity. When I was growing up, it was sexual orientation. You had straight, you had gay, or you had bisexual. Those are the only three options. Nowadays, you kind of got like a grocery bag, a grocery store list of options of what you can be. And like I said, as long as you're not hurting nobody, I don't care. You can be a motherfucking kitchen table or identify as one as you want. You can be the best kitchen table you want to fucking be. You can be the best kitchen table you want to be. But actually, I'll say it. Fuck it. The majority of them within that quackism don't really implore for that. There's no freedom of, like, just allowing people to operate unfetteredly. And that's where the media and image control comes in. Especially if you're black. Racism has we're still not 100 years removed from Jim Crow into desegregation into Jim Crow. If you think these group of men have stopped existing just because the ideologies that were supposed to dismantle racism are rooted in law and are written down on paper, you're out of your mind. But two, I've said this before too, for racism to truly die down, it's gonna have to get called out from within their race on a mass scale. Meaning, a lot of you white people kind of got to stand up to your motherfucking relatives and even the people who are within your own very motherfucking circles. It's not just gonna, yeah, black people niggas been fighting for 400 plus years. Me personally, I'm tired. I don't know about the rest of you niggas, I'm tired. But a lot of people are distracted by not only the information overload going on with the daily ebb and flows of life, modern day capitalism squeezing everybody dry, which isn't your fault, but it's just true. Everybody's being squeezed dry because of corporate greed. On top of, again, media and image control. Me being used as a non-consensual, non-volunteering martyr for this flag ideology because this group of men, whether it be the, excuse me, that came out of nowhere, whether it be the white ones or especially the predominant two ones are obviously the white ones, really predominant ones, trying to, you know, pull the strings on this image shit with whoever doesn't, you know, we got to control that image, or he represents masculinity and heterosexuality too well, we got to smarm it. So it'll be either the white ones or the ones leaning into whiteness that are outside of the white race, which leads into my second point, the black boys. I ain't calling these a group of men, they're boys, how they act. Even the old ones, the black boys who allowed themselves to lean into that ideology. Now, like I said, if you really are LGBTQ, whatever the fuck letters come after that, and like you're not hurting nobody, I don't give a fuck. Do what you want to do. Just don't include me in that shit, nigga. I've been fucking women since I was 4. You grow up very fast on the west side of Detroit. Yeah, I shouldn't have been endeavoring in it, but like I said, you grow up fast. Would I want my kids to be doing that when, well, shit, now I'm not even considering having kids no more, given this shit is just out here. Fuck all that. But I will die without bringing a kid into it. Unless, like I said, I go on a duck hunt or get rid of this shit. I'm good on kids. I'm good on kids. Guys only knows if this same group of men that done motherfucking put me through this trafficking shit, not only amongst the twinks, having somebody be a false motherfucking martyr of homosexuality and whatever the fuck queer means, nobody could ever explain that shit too. I've tried to ask so many, like, I'm someone from a psychoanalytical standpoint and just a humanistic standpoint of who I am, I've always tried to ask that group, what the fuck does queer mean? The only definition of queer I know is the dictionary definition, which means odd. I'm not necessarily odd, but it means something different within the LGBTQ community. And none of them ever can explain it to me. So I stopped trying to motherfucking understand that shit a long time ago, years ago. But, you know, and being made a martyr for this rainbow ideology, which the real purpose of it was not only to humiliate, which this is something that white men have been doing to black men throughout history for the longest of times. All the way back up to slavery times. It's just, since we're in 2026, it takes a different shape and form socially and pragmatically in reality. Niggas ain't, well, shit, niggas are still being, black people are still being lynched to this day and age. Black people don't lynch themselves, so let's say that first. But, you know, that's not happening to me. And, you know, may those who have been rest in peace. We've had one woman from Flint, Michigan be lynched in Florida, which should tell you everything you need to know about racism still being alive. And it needs to be called out. And like I said, within the DSM-6 model, whenever it comes out, racism needs to be labeled as a mental illness. You know why it's not labeled as a mental illness? Because of two things. One, it will culminate for a large, well, really 3. And the first one I'm saying is kind of an honorable mention, but you can still account it as a reason. It will culminate for a large amount of lawsuits, and not even just amongst blacks towards whatever, you know, entity outside the black race was being racist to them, but plenty of other people of color and even minorities or other minority racial groups. 2, racism, and I really should have said this as number 1 because this is the main primary reason. Racism is, and the ideology of racism and how anybody can be it, because technically within the definition and confines of that, is kind of looked at like religion. You can follow and practice the faith of any religion you want to. You can even change religions. And racism has that same ideology, doctrine going for it. You can be racist as long as you're not hurting anybody, but there's nothing good that has ever came about racism. And name me one thing that's came good about into the world from racism. Name me one. And it gets quiet. So racism is held in a bracket akin to that of religion, to where it's like, I can practice it if I want to, as long as I'm not hurting anybody and as long as I'm letting people operate how they operate. But you don't. Racism is a power dynamic thing besides a mentality. It starts in the mental. That's why it needs to be a mental illness. But it's a doctrine that is held and akin to religion, and that's why people implore for it. And 3, racism ain't looked at like, racism isn't deemed as a mental illness yet, because like I said, it will, you know, besides the lawsuit thing, it will make any and everybody, including the white people who uphold that shit, which like I said, in Michigan is more so closeted conservative racism. You will rarely find anybody that even calls you the hard ER anymore out here. Really, that would get you an ass beating. It's been a while since I've been called one. Well, maybe if you play Call of Duty. but racism, if it was deemed as a mental illness, will make all the white people who've implored for it, whether it be behind closed doors or within that closeted conservative motherfucking mindset, it will make you look absolutely nuts. Which you do look nuts imploring for racism. That shit comes with generational trauma and the elimination of descent of millions of people within and outside the black race. You're actually crazy for employing for something that is a genocidal ideology. But because it isn't at your front doorstep and affecting you, you really don't feel no type of way about it as much as everybody else who has suffered through the generational trauma of that does. Whether you are a witness to it or straight up victim of it, it doesn't matter. Both sides of, or both epithets of what I just said come with consequences. Within genealogy, mentally, spiritually, hell, physically if you allow it to affect your nervous system. But getting back to the main point, making me a martyr for your rainbow flag ideology that you don't even know how to explain yourself is not only the ultimate sin of God. Not only is it that, but within the black race, you betrayed your own and you sold out your own. But if you were willing to sell out a stranger, I have no doubt in my mind you have sold out your own family members and community and loved ones. So I'm not surprised you're willing to sell out a stranger. No different than my family. I do not need y'all confirmation bias. Don't need nothing from y'all. Y'all done did enough. All this retarded shit. Talking to one of the dregs. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I would say suck my dick. I'm free balling, but I don't know. You might got some bad juju in that mouth. Shit, you might fall in love with this dick as opposed to bisexual leaning dick. Who knows? A lot of you chicks got GDDS, good dick deficiency syndrome. Also, like I said, or like I was saying, excuse me, not also, but like I was saying, imploring for me to be the face, however large, and you know, within America, I already know, for at least the passion that I am putting on hiatus right now, really, that shit might just be done, to be quite honest. I'm good on modeling. It doesn't mean I'm giving up on any other passion pursuit I have, which people don't know, and I'm not gonna let them know. But why do something when my image has already been marred in an industry where the majority of men in that industry within fashion, it's not even just modeling. Fashion as a whole is a female-dominated industry. That's another reason, you know, that's one of the reasons why I said a lot of these dudes did what they did and participated in what they participated in over women. But making me the face / blueprint of your motherfucking rainbow motherfucking flag ideology that you don't know how to articulate, let alone verbalize a social concept of the rules and the basis of what you people practice within your shit, which I'm gonna link a video in the description. A lot of it is Satanism. I'm gonna link a video. It's just something I wouldn't even represent. That now, I'm not saying every LGBTQ, the LGBTQ members that are regular or normal, like I said, excuse yourself out of this conversation. You probably, I mean, I hope you wouldn't implore for Satanism, but we know who we're talking about here. We're talking about the majority of the problem, not the side that's actually trying to like just be who they are and live their life and express themselves openly, considering y'all ain't had these rights for 20 years yet. But making me the blueprint for your motherfucking rainbow shit is the ultimate violation of media and image control, let alone bodily autonomy and human rights. And there's no forgiving that. There is no forgiving that. You people don't even know how to ask for it. You people don't know how to apologize. You don't know the difference between sorrow and apologizing, which is why I've always said I don't accept that shit. And it's never direct, which tells me the people who have harmed you, and I'm not trying to bring up a memory here, but I'm just making an interjective point within words. Don't think of nothing in your mind when I say this, but the people who have done something to you, whoever it may be, it could even be a woman or a man, whoever, mom, dad, whoever the fuck, friends, they've never expressed real accountability and an apology saying, I apologize to you for X, Y, and Z, and they've never made it as loud as the disrespect was. So I can understand, or not understand, I can see, this is one of the data centers, I can see, I can see the writing on the wall with a lot of people. And I'm not particularly mad at the woman when I say this, but it's something that's true within the statement of what I'm saying, because like, especially women, they're the main ones going through this shit, and I've always said they're the prize. I can imagine a lot of these women out here, in regards to like what we've been through, or what they've been through and what I've been through, what they've been through and what I've been through, we can empathize on a certain level. And it's fucked up that we got that to empathize about. It's really fucked up. And I get it. Even though I wasn't awake, I get it. But it's really just some fuck shit, and it's something that doesn't need to exist. And that's why I feel the three ways. It's why I feel about the way of like the 3 ways of rectifying this I am going to pursue in life. Because given from these people, let's think about it like this. You know, you get the, oh, it's going to stop, we're almost done, this is that and the third. You know, we're still going to have to profit off of doing this to you. You're still going to not be able to get a job during this shit in this little time. Nobody's even giving me a time frame. I don't even know what the fucking paradigms of what the fuck motherfucking program you follow and the rules. But before I even say what I'm about to say, okay, it stops for me, whatever motherfucking time frame you people have for this shit. Does it stop for everybody else that's a victim of this shit too? Like, however big and large scale it is, whether it's in this state or within the country, does it stop for everybody? Just because it stopped for me doesn't mean, just because it's, shut the fuck up. Just because it stops for me doesn't mean I'm not gonna go out in public and still seeing men follow women from a distance, and you just see a chick walking fast and then I gotta eyeball a motherfucker and then he falls back because I'm just looking at him like, man, don't even do that shit. Or, you know, like I said, victims of this shit, and nobody can ever explain the purpose of gang stalking to me. What is the purpose of this shit? Like I said, the real purpose in my eyes is to delineate, discredit, distract, and ruin opportunity of someone who would have surpassed you in life way years ago, even if it's contemporary times. Someone who would have surpassed you in whatever way they would have, as opposed to you who didn't have the confidence to even like initiate doing what you even want to do in this world within your mind, let alone spend your time actually doing. And that's your fault for doing that. I've never held anybody back. I've never gatekept. The hell did I just kick? I've never gatekept anybody or like made someone stray from their purpose. Like, you know, but I think that's the real purpose of it. It's not like anybody's gonna get in trouble for this. Anybody's gonna be held accountable, especially at the top. People care too much about money, and money rules all. Currency is imaginary. But, you know, like I said, I have no problem playing this game of currency and running a rat race when your will is undying and it doesn't stem from motivation, but more so indomitable force of will. Then you don't mind having to do what you got to do in life that's of your own volition and consensual nature to get by and strive and persist in life. And that's how I've always been. Even amidst my 5 years of depression that was self-inflicted, never came from some shit like this. This shit ain't even to depress me. It just made me full of hatred. And it's rational hatred, so it's a good source of energy and a good source of like pushing through and being able to continue on. And I would implore for anybody to use rational hatred that's, you know, within you. If you've been done wrong, I would implore for you to use that as a source to motherfucking continue on, or even get whatever sort of like righteousness you want to come to whatever situation you had happen to you to come your way, and, you know, to get whatever mitigating evil force, whatever they deserve, up to and including death, if you so feel it, that needs to happen. I've always said a lot of people need to die for society to truly get better. Truly. Incarceration only works for certain amounts of people, and even then, incarceration doesn't truly rehabilitate. It's more so just like locking an animal in a cage and throwing. It's like a zoo, putting an animal in a confined space, and you feed them, but the conditions that made them get incarcerated don't truly get rehabilitated. It's just more so it sits and festers. It's up to at that rate, it would be up to the person to be able to consciously, within their mind, rehabilitate themselves. That is a flaw of the jail and prison industrial complex. Besides, like, maybe the really like cushy ones, and those are more so like white collar crime ones, like high level white collar crime ones. Besides the really like clean and cushy ones, the rest of them don't meet that standard. The rest of them don't meet that standard. So, you know, yeah, going back to the original topic of this shit, I mean, it's all within the topic, but I'm about to wrap this up because I ain't about to make this video 30 minutes long. I'm at 22 right now. The supposition and delivery of what Aaron McGruders said came true and true, and he predicted this in 2003. And I would love to, if I could ever meet that man, I would love to shake his hand and have a very sophisticated, dignified conversation with that man about the current state of the world and where it's going in the future. I have a lot of fucking visions and ideas of where it's going, and truthfully, if shit continues like this, it's not going to a good place. And this is why I've rescinded having kids, because I would not want to. That's not me judging anybody that does have kids. More often than not, if you have kids and you're on that side, more than likely, I mean, for the most part, you're all right. I mean, yeah, everybody goes through shit in life, so there will be some undesirables, up to and including shit of this nature, just not as heavy as what I went through, and still haven't even seen a single video of. People are protecting that. Like I said, this is an American society marred by something within genealogy. It's different within black DNA / genealogy, but within this white dynamic, there's a genealogy, there's a gene of like protection of evildoers or wrongdoers, or like things that shouldn't be happening. And I guarantee, and that's not just from American culture. American culture just has to take form in a different way socially and within genealogy. But I would go as far as to say this stemmed truly, like where this like started, even the ideology of it / when it started birthing and coming to fruition. If I'm being honest, medieval times, medieval Europe. The dynamics of what a lot of these dudes in today's day and age of America, especially on social media, but within certain behaviors employed upon a lot of men of many racial dynamics, but primarily white and a lot of black and other men of racial minority groups. Motherfuckers trying to have this shit socially go back to the motherfucking medieval times, to where motherfuckers is out here dating and impregnating 13-year-olds. Man, if you don't get the fuck And like really, like I said, that's where that genealogy stems from. Like that's the etiology point of it. Motherfuckers are really just trying to go back to like really archaic times that need to be left in the past. And you know what else was going on in medieval Europe? Motherfuckers didn't have motherfucking motherfuckers wasn't able to bathe. If you had let the hamster on the wheel go by. Nigga, but you know what else? Medieval times didn't allow bathing properly within a lot of that not all of them, but a lot of European countries. Nigga, if you want to have sex with a chick or whatever man or whatever whoever you're having, whatever you're hogging, you had to deal with funky backshot air because motherfuckers weren't bathed, like, you know, unclean. You had to deal with a lot of funky, musty backshot air back then. Is that what you really want to go to? Like that time frame in life? Like you had to hold your nose while hitting it from the back, probably just really any position, because motherfuckers were dirty, because bathing wasn't a major thing back then. That's an archaic standard. Archaic means very old, substandard. But ooh, bug just flew on my fucking nose. Yeah, man, and I'm just not with that shit. I'm just not with that shit. It's crazy. You'll be ostracized for preaching so much righteousness when this is really just all I've been my entire life. Nobody ever really comes up to ask you. I told y'all socialization got marred upon the first year of COVID, and I'm not necessarily blaming people for that. That was a governmental thing that was sold to the people. So I'm not really mad at people for that. Hell, even I'm not gonna say okay, I'll include myself a little bit, because yeah. But I was still working, so I wouldn't say it took a hit all the way, but I was a little bit affected by COVID socially, within my social skills. I think everybody was kind of just like, with the concept and rule of social distancing. You really didn't want to catch this shit because not too much was known about COVID, even though there were articles published about it. I think dating back all the way to anywhere from 2011 to 2013 at the earliest, if I'm not mistaken. There were articles about it from back then. But socialization and social skills took a hit in COVID, and really people are still recovering from it, if I'm being honest. And then with shit like this, what's going on right now in this current regime, social trust that women may have had in men, that was like even during COVID times, and when people started being allowed back outside, it was a little bit better back then than it is now. But with the current state of what is going on out here socially, and how a lot of women really just don't feel protected from most men, social trust amongst women that they have or had for men is in the shitter. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. I don't blame them. Nigga, who the fuck would want to be around most of you dudes? Most of you dudes are out here on some pit bull with a bone that just got it taken out of his mouth shit, and you're just out here growling, and it's damn near like you ain't fucked something, let alone ain't even humped the couch to get a nut off by yourself. So y'all out here wilding. And you know, who would want to trust something like that? You know, men fear men in general. Truly, why you think they ain't put a hand on me? I'm gonna fuck you up. So men fear men, and there's even a lack of trust in men, and that really stems from childhood. But we ain't about to get into all that shit. I ain't about to bring up no more trauma motherfucking memories. That ain't my point. But it's just the objectivity of it. Yeah, man, but that is everything I wanted to say. Image and media control in today's day and age has reached a new precedent of almost damn near it's not even tangible. You can't grab it, but it fucking controls so much. It literally can shatter a reputation and image, not only of, like I said, especially if you're black, but the image and reputation of a man. And I would even go as far as to say, even here in Michigan, or, you know, let me even localize it even smaller than that. Even here, within where I'm at in Roseville, I imagine certain women might have went through something akin to what I went through. Like I said, we have a new level of empathy we could connect to if we ever so choose to talk about it, to where like something like this might have happened to a chick, and you know, God forbid she woke up or just found out about it through actually seeing a video, but who knows. She found out how she found out. And word around town was getting passed around that she was the town whore, when really she didn't consensually implore for that, or it didn't happen of a natural volition to where it was like, okay, like she actually, like, it happened naturally and nothing bad about that came about, and she's fine with the results of everything that endeavors. And I'm not saying that to bring up a trauma memory again. I'm just more so saying we kind of got something more to connect about now, I guess. It's a fucked up thing to connect about, but I mean, hey, if you want to talk, I mean, I'm all ears. I'm not going to spread your business around to nobody. And these are part of the hard conversations of life that need to be had to be able to not only heal, but to grow past a moment. Grow past a moment. Be able to recognize and call out the people who commit things like this in the mass groups they exist in, and also maybe build community amongst new people we trust. Because you know, like I said, without community, like me, I could thug this shit out alone for the rest of my life if I had to. Really, I can live like a nomad and walk from place to place. As long as I got me some food and water and some music, I'm good. I can make it till the age of 111 when I'm gonna die, completely alone, but still happy with being who I am, because I'm me, and that's just a me thing. Now, do I want to do that completely alone? For like, hell no. I would love to even, nigga, I was free balling today. You know how many chicks I had looking at my dick? And I'm only free balling because I ain't got I ain't got too many clean clothes. I gotta do my laundry. But I see why chicks don't be wearing underwear. Shit, I might be doing this shit tomorrow too. But if I was to fucking try and just get a moment of intimacy with a chick tomorrow, who knows if it will bring negative consequences from that side of people, you know, of the people, the quote unquote, emphasis on that, powers that be, trying to make sure, like, oh, you know, let's keep all the women away from them and shit, and reinforce this narrative, which I personally don't give a fuck about that no more. Honestly, if I sling some dick to a chick, as long as it's consensual, really, and it ain't no bad spiritual motherfucking thing, or, you know, you're not gonna get hurt after it happens, and nothing's gonna follow you or linger around you, I'm just gonna implore for it. As much as I hate to while I'm broke, because I don't like to be around women when I'm broke, or like, not even say that, let me say, I don't like to try and endeavor in socialization and being around a woman when I'm broke, even if it's on a platonic level, because I can't feed you. And it wouldn't be me feeding you, like looking out for something in the future. It's just more so everybody gotta eat, and I don't mind doing things for people I actually want to get to fucking know. You know, there's that too. But yeah, man, I don't know. We're gonna try some things tomorrow. We're gonna try a couple of social experiments. I got a gnarly nicotine itch, and I'm dangerously horny, but not dangerously to the point where I'm about to snatch up a bitch off the street. I have major impulse control as well. But like, you know, this whole journey has been just a whole bunch of twinks trying to fuck around, and like I said, ruin my image and my reputation and my perception through media and in real life too. And you know, they succeeded. You know, for the most part, I caught on to it. I called it out. I made plenty of YouTube videos about this shit. And you know, personally, like I said, I don't think I'm even the only one affected by this. It's a lot of people that are affected by this. And whether or not you join that side or not, I think determines whether or not the level of repercussions, or not even repercussions, the consequences, let's say, that quote unquote consequences, when really there are no consequences. It's just people doing some evil shit, so there are no consequences. This shit like this shouldn't even exist. But if you're on that side, yeah, you probably got less consequences to deal with, you know, compared to me, even though nothing's happening to me no more. It's fucked up that it even happened in the first place. God only knows how many motherfuckers, God, you people, and whoever made the videos and watched them and wherever source they're on, only know how many fucking men done did what, how many times it done happened. As far as my knowledge, it only done happened 3 times. But God and, you know, Satan, because, you know, this is some demonic ass shit, the men who committed this shit, and the people who were showed the fucking content on whatever dark media site that I'm not gonna even try to look for, because there's probably a lot of other fucked up shit on there. And I'm not about to catch a felony just from being on the site looking for my shit on some motherfucking Inspector Gadget Scooby-Doo shit. I might wear these shorts tomorrow, honestly. Very nice and breezy. You know, only those people know how many times it's happened, and God forbid it was a gang rape. Holy fucking shit. That's fucking gross. Man, this shit is disgusting out here. Lord have mercy. But man, you know, I laugh because if I don't, I'm gonna do something to somebody. But rightfully so. Your family will sell you out, your community. I mean, you can't really get too mad at community, but you can, because it's like shit like this is supposed to be stood up against en masse. It's more of us than them. Regardless of what social hierarchical position they're in, wrongdoing needs to be called out en masse so there could be effectual change and the right people in these positions that wouldn't motherfucking commit these sort of motherfucking heinous wrongdoings and atrocities against community and humanity and human rights violations. If people took a stand in mass, people like this will be dead or exiled and put into prison, and not even on the mainland. Like I said, open Alcatraz and put these motherfuckers there. But really, capital punishment would be the solution for this shit. Or public execution, how they do in the Middle East. That's one thing I do admire about the Middle East. If it's like an actual case of like righteous public execution, it's public stonings, death by firing squad, so on and so forth. These are just things that need to happen for society to get better. Like I said, some people need to die. Some people outright need to die. And it's just the truth. Because if they don't die, it sets a precedent of, well, this is the norm and this is the standard and this is what's going to continue to happen. So, media and image and media control and how the two bind together in today's contemporary times, it damn near is akin to that of religion, which is crazy in regards to the grand scale and scope of it and how many followers will ultimately can be binded, manipulated by, destroyed by, or smarmed or dirtied by in reality. And man, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I said, it takes a lot to vex me, or not even vex me, but perplex me, and like just have something exist so tangibly, non-tangibly, that it like I can't even bring about the sophisticated words to fucking come out my mouth to describe how I feel. But this is some shit. This is some shit. All right, that's everything now. I unfortunately got over 30 minutes. I actually went to 37 minutes. So much for that. But everything that was said in this needed to be said. I'm about to upload this right now. There needs to be a major change. There needs to be major change. Major. And people that are put into the new, systems that will be, need to be incorruptible. Need to do it for the right thing. Finances shouldn't be able to deem and dictate or control or manipulate the dynamic of what a new system will be, let alone people, and especially the citizens that it could encompass and affect. And I mean affect with an A, not E, by extension. I thank you for watching. This has been It's Lucky Like Lou. I'm about to sit here and go through nicotine withdrawals and, eat some motherfucking food, because as the nicotine withdrawals come, my appetite comes back. I want to black them out. I want to be able to smoke, but unfortunately I don't have one right now. Yeah. So this is some shit. Please stay safe out here, ladies. I will forever be an advocate for you. Men that are actually going through this, or dealing with some sort of extreme factor, or extreme being, I guess I'll say, or omnipresent force that have to deal with this shit. I mean, really do what you gotta do to protect yourself. And ladies, I would definitely fucking implore for that too. Do what you gotta do to fucking protect yourself. It's fucked up out here. Like I said, you gotta just be around people you trust. But I want an apology. I don't want a sorry. I want an apology. I can't really be too mad at modern society, because looking around, a lot of people probably go through this, and everybody's probably had their turn, realistically. And I'm not calling this out to, like I said, bring up a trauma memory. And you know, some people have had less turns than others. Obviously, the truth tellers and those who stand in righteousness, or who would be people who would be considered activists or whistleblowers, even, clearly they've gone through, you know, I guess I could say we have gone through much worse than what the average motherfucker might be dealing with. But still, there's an empathetic thing there in regards to, yeah, we've been through the same thing, but like, it's much worse on one side than the other. You feel me? That's the video. I'm about to go, or I'm about to sit here and eat. I'm done yapping. That was a lot to get out. Oh, and also, last sentence, opportunity and finances doesn't cancel out what the fuck happened. It might put a band-aid on it, but you know, there's still no sense of healing there from whatever the fuck occurred. And that's a very American thing. Well, given just that I'm in America, I can say it's a very American thing, but it's always existed for hundreds of years, even, yeah, just hundreds of years, really. Yeah, really, let's even go back to damn near whenever currency was introduced. Either way, I'm out.